As already mentioned, I would like to show you how I built a loft bed for my boy on my own. First, I got 10 multiply 10 cm solid construction timber, a total of 8 pieces. 4 pieces will function as beams and 4 as cross beams, which will then connect and stabilize these beams. The holes for the beams must now be marked. Depending on the length, I decided on 3 to 4 holes per beam. Before the holes are then drilled, these holes should first be lowered with a Forstner bit. Then you can drill through. If you don't follow the order, it can be difficult to present clean cuts. Then I temporarily set up the beams to know exactly on which sides I should sew a notch for the cross beams to ensure a better grip. The cross beams measure 6 multiply 8 centimeters. As a result, the notch must be drawn accordingly. This can be seen pretty well in the video. In terms of the height of the crossbars, I choose 1.20 m. Two of these crossbeams are also attached to the wall. Of course, these must then also be provided with holes too. Then, the vertical drilling machine is replaced by a cross-cut and pull saw in order to be able to make the notches. After this was set, I started to sew from right to left every 3 mm to the horizontal mark. You can then easily break this chamber by hand and smooth the cut surface with a chisel. If you don't have a crosscut and pull saw at hand, you can also do this with a pendulum fox tail if necessary. Now, two beams with a longer crossbar are mounted on the wall. Connect them together on the floor beforehand and then set them up on the wall. Then mark the holes on the wall, drill and provide a dowel. For this, I use 12 mm dowels and 10 mm hex screws. Then we expand this with another beam, which is mounted on the wall with a shorter crossbeam. These are now extended until the circle closes. Make sure that all cross beams are in balance. As soon as the basic framework is in place, you can continue with the slatted frame. Either you buy a finished one or do as I do and simply use wooden beams that you no longer need. You should shorten these wooden beams according to the width of the basic framework and attach them to the cross beams at the same distance. In terms of distance, it's best to make yourself a wooden spacer. Then you don't have to measure back and forth all the time. The loft bed should have an entrance door and window. For this, of course, the position must first be determined by building a few support beams on which the profile wood can then be mounted. The vertical and horizontal alignment is important here. These are temporarily attached to finally mark the cutting line. After that, you can lose it again so that you can continue to use it. And now comes the most difficult part of this project. Done. Now, after you have separated the profile wood pieces according to the cutting line, you can now finally mount them on the support beams. The free space between the support beam and the beam next to this have to be protected so that the child cannot fall out of the bed. For the security fans shown here, I cut wooden beams to a height of 40 cm and installed them at the same distance after preparation for assembly. Choose the distance so that no small child can fit between them. In addition, the length of the screw used should not exceed the thickness of the fence and the wooden struts. Otherwise, there is a source of injury. Try not to fence the entire loft bed. Leave some space on the corner to ensure an entrance to the bed. Then you can now paint everything as desired. You can now optionally set up side and back walls. To do this, you can easily have these walls manufactured according to the dimensions you need. I had two wooden panels cut for the roof. Then I provided the edge with an edge band. Simply buy the edge band in the material thickness of the wood and iron on the edge with an iron. The glue becomes liquid and then sticks to the wooden edge. After drying, you can remove the excess with a chisel. I will now fix these wooden panels together with an angel. You can mount additional beams on the wall as support. Place the angel above the plate so that they cannot be seen. Because of the lack of space, I recommend working with an angel screwdriver. Since this is a loft bed, there must of course be stairs to get into the bed. The storage Trofast from IKEA is simply ideal for this project. It represents storage options and can also be used as stairs. Just bring it as close as possible to the bed and provide it with a handrail. The whole thing is recommended to be mounted on the wall afterwards to guarantee more stability. You can use normal wooden beams for the railing, but the edges should definitely be rounded off. I used an electric plane for this. It would also be possible with a sandpaper. All wooden beams for the railing should be sanded as finely as possible to avoid injury when using them. The best way to attach the railings to the IKEA storage is to drill through and tighten the screws with a nut. If you screwed it in a normal way, it would come loose in the long run. Now, the framework of the bed is ready and should be decorated. First, I will provide the ground floor with an LED strip. The existing strips were very bright, so I decided to put them on colorful crepe paper. Then they are attached to the roof of the ground floor. After I have connected the transformer to the power source, it is glued to the strips with the help of a hot glue gun. All freestanding cable can then be hidden in a cable duct.